welcome to week 53 of these online videos. My name is Brenda. I'm a movement therapist. In this video titled Opening Up, we're going to focus a lot on breathing. We're going to focus a lot on opening up the deep core line of the body, releasing those areas along the deep core line which start in the arch of the foot and work all the way up and around to the neck, including the diaphragm. So a lot of focus on releasing the diaphragm and a lot of focus on breathing. Let's get started. We're going to start in standing. You're going to need a soft reflex ball. If you don't have a soft reflex ball, a tennis ball will do. And you're going to need a foam roller as well. Okay, let's start with a nice deep breath in. Reach up and just have a nice stretch. We're also working a bit into the lateral line of the body to help us loosen up. We're going to take the reflex ball underneath the armpit and you're going to focus on squeezing the reflex ball and just circling the shoulder up and back. So just getting a nice amount of movement into that area. Another two. We want to focus on opening up, so just rolling the shoulder up and back. Then you're going to take the ball and you're going to just underneath the clavicle on the pectoral muscles, just start tapping and moving up and around the neck, over the shoulder and a little bit onto the arm and back onto those pectoral muscles. Good, so just a nice release there. Let's bring the ball back under the armpit and I want you to lift the shoulder up and drop it down. As we drop the shoulder, I want you to extend the neck and drop the ear to the other shoulder. Then we lift it up and drop it down. Lift it up and drop it down. Keep going and drop it down, feeling a nice extension through the neck and drop it down. Good, let's release the ball again. And I want you to now take the ball onto the shoulder, release the trapezius, the muscle that sits over here, as well as the levator scapula that lifts and lowers the shoulder. The other arm, the arm you're working, I want you to bring the hand around and tuck it around the waist. So you're focusing on pulling that shoulder back. Let's continue massaging up and over the trapezius, right around, little circular motions. Work back and forth. Then you keep dropping the ear over to the other shoulder and just a nice massage up the neck and along that sternocleidomastoid which sits along here. So again, over the pectoral muscles, and you can move up and down from the sternum to the shoulder and in circular motions. So just pushing the shoulder back, really opening up across the front of the chest. Another 4, another 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Let's tap again just a little bit up onto the shoulder and around the neck. Good. And then take the ball onto the sternum and move from side to side. Little motion side to side, and you can move up and down as well. Up and down. Move side to side. You'll feel when the flow is a lot easier than the other. Let's take that ball under the other armpit and squeezing the ball, I want you to circle the shoulder up and back. You might need to reposition it a few times. Just keep tucking it in and squeezing it as you circle. Keep going, another 2 and another 1. Now while the ball's there, let's do the other movement, dropping the ear away from the shoulder, bring it and lift. Bring the head over to the opposite shoulder and lift. Lengthen and lift. It's a nice dynamic stretch. You don't want to just hold the stretch, you want to move into the stretch, almost bouncing into it. Another 2 and another 1. Good. Let's take the ball and start with that tapping motion right over those pectoral muscles and up onto the shoulder and into the trapezius and the levator scapula, up onto the neck and just around the neck area. Good, let's continue releasing this area with a little bit of massage, moving the ball back and forth, little circular motions around that area, up and down over the pectoral muscles and over the sternum, just from the sternum to the shoulder. Move around under the clavicle. Let's take the ball, the hand around the waist and open up the shoulder a little bit more. So you don't want to be in this rounded position. You want to focus on really pushing that shoulder back and opening up across the chest. Let's do a little bit over the neck again, just moving up and around. All this time, I want you to focus on your breathing. When we breathe through the nose, we create something called nitric oxide, which helps transport hemoglobin in the blood. But another thing it does is also boosts our immune system. We want to focus on breathing in and out through the nose. And I want you to notice how the breathing improves as we release the areas with tension in them. Work right up and over the shoulder, into the neck, and around this area. You can release the ball. We're going to come back to it in a minute, so keep it handy. Let's step the right foot back, lunge forward on the left, and I want you to take your hands directly onto your skin, and I want you to make sure the knee is above the ankle in front and the knee is below the hip at the back. So you want to work into a nice hip flexor stretch, but you're also focusing on the diaphragm to release the diaphragm. We're going to take the hand, or both hands if you can, and massage from the inside of that hip bone up towards the rib cage. This is where the diaphragm sits, but not only the diaphragm, we have a muscle in the lower back, in the deep core line, called the psoas muscle, and it moves into the front of the hip, the iliopsoas. So that is our primary hip flexor, but we're releasing both those muscles, that psoas muscle in the lower back. So apply a nice deep pressure and just slide the fingers nice and slowly up towards the rib cage. So you should feel a nice pulling sensation up and down the front of that leg. Let's bring the hand behind the head, the opposite hand, so your left hand, and you tucking, and you're going to bring the shoulder and the elbow across, and you're breathing in and opening. So focus on opening up, breathe into the space you're creating, and as you breathe out, tuck. Breathe in, open, breathe out, tuck. So when you're tucking, engaging the glutes, you're going to round that spine and pull your shoulder down. So you're getting a nice stretch from the opposite shoulder to the glute into the front of the hip. And breathe out and tuck. Let's do another 2. Breathe out, tuck. And a nice deep breath in, open, and breathe out and tuck. Now, if this is where you want to keep it, stay here. If you can, I want you to lift that foot into the backhand, open up across the opposite shoulder, and re-tucking again. Nice challenge on the balance, and you're focusing again on the breathing, and breathe out. Keep going. Open up across from the shoulder to the knee. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out, tuck. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out, tuck. Let's do another 2. It will challenge your balance. And breathe out, tuck. And another 1. Open up and breathe out. Breathe in, open up. Okay, still on the same side, I want you to straddle the mat, and you're going to work into a lift. But again, this is optional, so I'll give you two options. Reach the arm up next to the ear, and we're going to jump up and lunge back. Jump up and lunge back. Keep going. Your second option is just a knee lift and a lunge back. Your first option is to add a bit of plyometrics. Another 4, another 3, another 2, and another 1. Good. From there, you're going to lower the upper body down. You're going to lift the back foot, fingertips onto the floor, and lift the back foot. So you're balancing on your foot, your front foot, and you're going to just hold it there. Now, if you can, holding your balance, I want you to lift your hands up. Stay where you are. Lift your hands up and just focus on that ankle for stability. Keep the hand available if you need it. Look at your knee so you're not looking forward. Relax the head and the neck. Challenge your glutes. Hold it, and uncurl. Good. Now we haven't released that foot. So now what I want you to do is take the ball under that foot, and I want you to focus on releasing especially the arch of the foot. Let's work over the whole foot, but I want you to focus on that arch because we know that's part of the deep core line, and bring it under the big toe all the way through the arch to the heel, nice and slowly. We want to hydrate and stretch that fascial tissue, so we want to work slowly, otherwise it just bounces back into place. Keep focusing on your breathing. Another 2. And another 1. Bring the ball under the ball of the foot. So you want the big toe to wrap over the ball. So just under the ball of the foot. And you're going to roll from side to side. Bring the inside of the foot onto the mat and the outside of the foot onto the mat. Good. Let's do the same thing to the other side. And now what we're going to do is I want you to feel how much more improved your balance is when we go into those into that lunge and into those balances. Focus from the big toe over the arch to the heel, and now settle the ball in the arch of the foot and just move in a circular motion and then change direction. Good. Again, nice and slowly. Then we're going to bring the ball onto the ball of the foot, wrap the toes over the ball. So you should even have that little toe wrapping over the ball of the foot, over the ball. Another 2. And another 1. Good. Release the ball and let's step the right foot forward. Take your hands onto the left hip, find the hip bone, and massage up from the hip to the rib cage. So releasing the diaphragm, and we know that the psoas muscle sits behind the diaphragm. So we want to work nice and slowly and nice and deeply. Massage from the hip bone and up into the under the rib cage. Tuck the fingers under the rib cage. Make sure the knee is over the ankle. Don't overextend the knee, and that hip and knee are in line at the back. You're slightly tucking under, engaging the back butt, so you're feeling that stretch into the hip, and then increasing that stretch by pulling the skin and releasing the diaphragm along that line. Another 2. And another 1. Good. From there, we're going to bring it'll be your right hand behind your head. Take your left hand onto your hip. And I want you to focus on breathing now. From the shoulder to the knee. I want to feel a nice stretch. And then you tucking. Opposite shoulder. Keep the elbow nice and open. Don't bring the elbow across. I want you to focus on getting a bit deeper into those obliques. Breathe in and open. And breathe out. Tuck. Each movement comes right from the tailbone. So you want to start the tuck from the tailbone and then the shoulder. So it's almost like a ripple effect through the spine. Breathe out, tuck. Breathe in, open. And nice and slowly. Gauge your movement on your breath. Breathe in and open. Another 2. Keep going. And another 1. And breathe in and open. From there again, stay straddle the mat. Bring your left foot into your hand. Keep the other hand behind the shoulder. And we're going to focus on breathing in and breathing out, tucking. Breathing in, opening. As you open, push the foot back into the hand, open up across the chest, and then tuck under. A nice deep breath in. Stay in the first position if your stabilizers are not cooperating. Otherwise, challenge your balance if you can. Another 2. And breathe in and open. And another 1. And breathe in and open. Good. From there, step straddle the mat. Pushing down back into your lunge. Bring the arm up next to your ear, and you've got again 2 options here. Either just a lift, keeping the front foot on the mat, on the floor in front of the mat, or we can add that plyometrics, so add that jump into it. So we're lifting, lunging, lift and lunge. Keep going. Try to keep a nice wide lunge, shorten it if those stabilizers are not cooperating again. But this side should be a lot easier than the other side because we've released the feet. 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. Good, well done. Take another nice deep breath in. And breathe out. This time, we're going to breathe in and roll down. I want you to keep the ball handy and bring your roller lengthways onto the mat. So here we're going to focus on releasing the sternum, which is a big part of the deep core line. When we go down onto the roller, you can use the ball to soften the sternum, but if you find that is quite sore, we can just use the roller because that will help soften the sternum as well. Let's breathe in and roll down through the spine. Just hang out here and bounce. Let's walk the hands down on either side of the roller and drop down onto the knees. Bring the knees to the back of the roller and lower down onto the roller. Now, if you want to, as I mentioned, take the reflex ball, feel what it feels like. We're bringing it right onto the sternum. So here, just on the chest, where the rib cage meets, the xiphoid process comes up to the sternum, and we want to position the ball onto the chest. You want to move slightly forward so we can rest there. You're going to make a fist with both your hands. Rest one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead on your hands. As I said, if it's very uncomfortable with the ball, you can just release the ball. But obviously the ball will help it be a little bit more effective in releasing the esophagus, which sits behind the sternum. So let's just relax and breathe. You can also keep moving the ball around. can keep the knees on either side of the roller. Squeeze it slightly as you take a nice deep breath in. And what we want to feel here as well is as we breathe in, breathing into the diaphragm. So you're pushing the diaphragm down, therefore the belly button will push down into the roller and push the breath into the lower back. Keep going. What we are doing now is bringing ourselves into a calm state. We're breathing into the parasympathetic nervous system. So we want to breathe deeply into that diaphragm, again, in and out through the nose. Finish off with one more. And let's release the ball, come up onto the hands and knees. Now we're going to continue releasing the deep core line. So you're going to bring the roller onto the floor next to your mat, bring it quite far down. Come forward onto the elbows, and you're going to bring the knee up onto the roller in line with the hip. Now you can relax the supporting leg, or you can curl it under the foot and come up into a plank position. Keep the elbows underneath the shoulders and massage along the inner thigh, right up to the hip and into the groin there. Focus again on a nice slow movement. Keep going. The supporting foot, try and open it up as wide as you can. So you're opening up into the hips. Let's continue the movement. Straighten the leg if you can. If it's very sensitive, you might want to just keep the knee bent. Listen to your body. Take it to a point of discomfort, but if there's pain, then take the knee and bend it. Let's continue the same movement, just go around to the other side. Make sure the knee is in line with the hip, into your plank position, and roll right to the hip. Open up the supporting foot and continue the movement. If the hips are very tight, you can keep that supporting foot on the mat, and as it starts to release, then you can open up the foot slightly wider. Do another 2. And another 1. Go into that extension if you can. Make sure the knee is in line with the hip. And let's come back onto the mat. Bring the roller between the knees. And we're going to focus a little bit on the breathing and tucking. So your hands under your shoulders. You're arching into the back as you look up. The more you use your head, the more you're going to activate those core muscles. A nice deep breath in. Pull the shoulders back. Don't let them ride up to the ears. And breathe out and round the spine. As you round the spine, I want you to squeeze the ball with the feet. Don't squeeze with the knees. Let's squeeze with the feet, so we're activating those glute muscles in the buttocks. And breathe in and open up. Good. Shoulder blades together at the back again, and breathe out. Round the spine and tuck. And again, a nice deep breath in. And open up. And breathe out. Squeeze the ball with the feet. Push the knees out into the mat so you can feel the glutes. Breathe in and open. and breathe out and tuck. Now we're going to change and we're going to bring the knees next to the roller and squeeze the roller with the knees. So you're going to breathe in and out. You're going to breathe out and tuck. Try stay on the front of your feet. We're going to squeeze the roller and lift. If you're cramping, focus on relaxing your neck, but you can have the option of curling the toes under if you want to. Let's breathe in and breathe out, tuck. Lift the knees, squeeze with the roller and bounce the knees up and down. Keep the head down, look at the roller, and let's drop the knees. So now you should need to breathe in and open up. Good. Now you're going to breathe out and round again. This time you're lifting the knees, but you're rocking from side to side. So again, you can curl the toes under if you need to, but make sure the head is nice and relaxed, releasing the neck and drop. Let's breathe in again. And then breathe out, tuck and round. Lift, and from the top, bounce the knees up and down. And drop the knees and breathe in again. And breathe out and round. Tuck and round, lift the knees. And this time you're swinging the knees from side to side. As soon as you need to breathe in, drop the knees and breathe in and open. Good. From there, then position the roller perpendicular to the mat. We're releasing the quadriceps, so the front of the thighs, and then we're going to move into the hips. Bring the elbows right to the front of the mat, and I want you to focus on the knees as well. So right from the hips, relax the hands. Don't clench the fingers together in linking the hands. I want you to try and relax the hands so you relax the shoulders as well. Move up and down nice and slowly. And move over the knees. If you have any knee issues, don't go over the knees. Just work to the point above the knees, releasing the quadriceps. Try to relax the feet as well. For the next move, I want you to shift yourself over to the back of the roller or the back of your mat, and you're going to bring your front knee onto the roller, relax your foot and your knee, keep the other knee on the mat and lift that foot. Open up the knees as wide as you can, and now I want you to bounce that foot away from the supporting leg on the roller. Push that foot out. The roller should be just underneath the hip bone, again on the hip flexor, that primary hip flexor there, the iliopsoas, and you're going to focus on releasing that. So some of you might feel a bit of a clicking sensation, releasing that hip flexor. And bounce, bounce. All those hip flexors. Bounce and open up. So now let's bring the same hand as the knee on the roller onto the mat. And we're going to focus on rotating and extending that knee. So you're rocking onto the side of your hip. Keep the shoulder and the elbow in line. Extend that top leg. Keep the hand on the mat. Bring the knee back. Rotate and extend the leg. And bend the knee back onto the roller. And for 3. And release. And 4. And release. Let's do another 3. And release. Make sure it stays just under that hip bone. The last one, I want you to hold it there. Now you're going to drop down onto your arm, extend the bottom leg, and you're going to lift and lower that top leg feeling the stretch over the lateral side of the body. Breathing in and breathe out. One hand, the top hand on the mat, or if you can, I want you to lengthen it next to your ear and stretch. Try drop the heel, but make sure that top hip is not dropping back, otherwise you're going to start to feel the pulling in the lower back. You're going to drop and lift. 2 more. And the last one. Good. Hold it there. Breathe into it. Nose breathing. Bring that top hand flat again. Bring the knee back onto the roller and lengthen the bottom leg and lift and lower. So activating the inner thigh and that deep core line. I want you to imagine someone's taken your foot and pulling it, lengthening the leg out. Another 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Let's come forward and let's go over to the other side. So let's come onto the roller. We'll go straight into that hip flexor release. Bring the shift yourself to the back of your mat. So make sure you change legs and bring your front knee onto the roller. Relax your foot and open up that back knee. So you want to make it nice and open in the hips. Stay on the elbows to start and bounce that foot away from the front leg. So you're taking it to the back, releasing that hip flex. Now bring the knee back onto the mat if it's off the mat, and you're going to come up onto the same hand as that front leg, and you're going to lengthen and bend the knee. Good, and lengthen and bend the knee. Good. Extend and bend. Keep going. Let's do another 4. Open and bend. And 3. And release. 2 more. And release. And let's hold it in that last one. Shift yourself forward if you need to. Drop down onto your arm. Extend the bottom leg if you can. Keep it a little bit bent if you need to. And start off lifting and lowering. You want to try and relax the heel as well. Keep that whole leg nice and relaxed so you can lengthen it more. If it's tense, you're not going to be able to drop the foot and you're not going to feel that stretch. Bring the arms next to the ear and continue the movement. Keep going. Breathe in and out. Another 2 and another 1. Let's bring the top hand flat. Bring the top knee onto the roller. Relax the foot again and staying in that nice extended position. Lengthen and lift the bottom leg. Bring the arms back next to the ears if you want to. Keep going. Another 4. Another 3, another 2, and another 1. Good. Come up onto the elbow and release the roller. We've got to bring the roller underneath the neck. Bring the reflex ball into your hands. And we're lowering onto the roller, neck on the roller. We're going to take the reflex ball into the middle back. So I want you to bring it a little bit lower than the middle back, under the belly button. So right onto the spine, the ball is soft. If you're using a tennis ball, you might want to put it in a sock or 2 just to soften it a little bit. Position the ball right onto the spine to help open up those vertebrae. And just lying here, it's going to open up the diaphragm as well. want you to focus on the breathing. Just keeping the roller underneath the occiput ridge at the base of the skull, in line with the ears, and you're just nodding the head from side to side. Keep that ball into the middle back. Keep pushing down into it to release the spine. And relax the shoulders, opening up across the chest. Let's rock over to one side, release the ball. We're going to rock into a seated position, keep the ball handy. Bring the shoulder blades onto the roller. Lift the tailbone and massage over the shoulder blades. Make sure the head is nice and relaxed in the hands. You want to keep the chin open and the weight of the head resting in the hands. Roll over the shoulder blades. Drop down onto the mat again. Keep the roller on the shoulder blades. Bring it down to the base of the shoulder blades. I want you to reposition the ball again down in line with the hip bones. So you've got two dimples on either side of the spine in line with the hip bones. I want you to bring the ball between those two dimples and again onto the spine. Open up, and I want you to take the weight of the head into the hands and just focus on your breathing here. Opening up into the diaphragm, the ball is into the lower back. Just keep focusing on relaxing. Now we're going to take the head, lift it slightly, and we're going to focus on tucking, pushing the lower back into the ball and rounding the spine. Breathe in and open up. Keep the knees in your peripheral vision, so you're not opening up too much. I want you to maintain a bit of a tuck and breathe out. Breathe in, open up. Good. When I say I want you to maintain the tuck, I want you to just feel the ball in the lower back releasing that spine. And again, breathing out and tucking. Breathing in and opening. The more we focus on the breathing, the more you're going to activate the deep core muscles. And breathe in, open up. Let's do another 2. And breathe in and open up. On the last one, breathe out, and again breathe in and open up. From here, we're going to come over to one side, taking the opposite shoulder and lift the knee and drop the foot. Then breathe in and open up. Bring the feet slightly closer together and cross over. Drop the foot and then breathe in and open up the shoulder. Breathe out, tuck. Take the shoulder across, lift the knee and drop the foot. Then breathe in, open up. So you're still feeling the release along the spine and tucking the shoulder up, drop the foot, breathe in. Another 4, and lift, release, breathe in, and 3, shoulder across, knee, release the foot, breathe in, open, 2 more, tuck, cross over, drop the foot, breathe in, open up. Breathe out, tuck, shoulder across, lift the knee, drop the foot, and a nice deep breath in. And here, just focus on opening up and bouncing for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Tuck. Reach the hands to the knees and uncurl. Good. From there, just release the ball. We're going to come back to it in a minute. Take the roller and you're going to come up into a lifted position, and we're going to cross the roller to the foot, lift up, cross the roller to the other foot, lift up, bring the legs together, and roll down one vertebra onto the mat at a time, and breathing in. Good. You're going to bring the chin to the chest, reach the roller forward, a nice deep breath in, open up the legs, cross the other way, and breathe in, lift, and cross the other way, and breathe in, lift. Bring the legs together, and roll down, take a nice deep breath in, and open up. Good, keep going, breathe in and lift, open up, cross to the first side, breathe in and lift, over to the second side, breathe in and lift, legs together, and lower down through the spine. A nice deep breath in and lengthen. Breathe out. Lift up. Breathe in here. Over to the second side. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out. Breathe in, open up. Lift and roll down. Nice deep breath in. Let's breathe out. Lift up. Open the legs. Reach to the first side. Breathe in and lift. Reach to the second side. Breathe in and lift. Legs together. Roll down through the spine. Nice deep breath in. Keep going. Breathe in, lift. Open up to the second side. Breathe in, lift. And the first side. Legs together. Another 4. Let's roll up. Breathing out. Breathe in, lift, open up, and cross to lift. Roll down. 3 to go. Breathe out. Cross over and lift. Together. 2 more. The last one. Release the roller, stay on your back in a supine position, take the reflex ball and bring your feet apart. We're going to now bring the ball next to the hip. And so the hip bone is here and the ball is not too far underneath the glutes, under the butt, but right next to the glutes. We're going to open up the feet and the arms are in line with the shoulders. Now we're going to take the knees over to one side. And you're going to drop onto the ball and you're going to open up the feet and you're going to bounce that back knee up and down. Look away from the direction the knees are going and bounce. Trying to get that back knee down onto the mat, but bounce into it. Ease that fascial tissue into that stretch. Good, let's come over to the other side. So back to center, reposition the ball under the butt and go over to that side. Open up the feet, look away from the direction the knees are going, and you're bouncing that back knee up and down. So a nice release for the hips, the tensor fascia lata on the side of the leg, works along into the ITB. So this is a nice release for that point with the ball. We're going to repeat it to the first side, rock over to the first side, position the ball back there, and rock your knees over, look away from the direction the knees are going, and bounce that back leg. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Open up the back knee, rock around, position the ball back under that TFL on the side of the leg and drop down. Open up the feet and bounce that back knee. Keep going. Another 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Come back to center. Push the lower back into the mat and release the ball. Now we're going to bring the feet and the knees together, and we're going to rock over to the first side. Again, keeping the shoulders onto the mat and opening up. You want the knees in line with the hips. Now lift the top foot, release the bottom foot a little bit, so not too close to the bum. And now you're going to bounce into that movement, keeping the knee where it is and just dropping the foot. So we're getting a nice rotation into the hip, and you should start to feel the glutes and the butt activating. Relax the foot. Don't stiffen it up. Keep the knee where it is. Bounce the foot. Keep going. Keep going. You want to feel those glutes kicking into action. Keep going. And drop. Let's come over to the other side. Knees and feet together. Lift the top knee. Look away from the direction the knees are going. So you're opening up across the chest. Keep the knee where it is, the top knee, and bounce that bottom foot up and down. So you should already feel the glutes have worked here from the first side. Let's keep bouncing that top foot and bounce and bounce. Relax the leg. Keep going. Another 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Come back to center. You can bring the knees together. Shift the knees across in line with the hips. Lift that top foot up and bounce there. Look away from the direction the knees are going and just keep going. Top knee stays where it is. Doesn't move. Just the foot and the calf are moving up and down. Keep going. Another 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Let's bring the knees together. Come back to center and over for the second and last set on this side, and bounce the top knee. Bounce the foot, sorry. Keep the knee where it is and bounce. Look away from the direction the knees are going. Keep going. And 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Come back to center. Hug the knees into the chest. Just bounce the knees up and down. Good. From here, I want you to bring the roller. If this is not comfortable for you, if you're taking too much strain in the lower back, then just do it without the roller. So I'll show you both options. If you can, I want you to lift the tailbone, bring the roller not under the bum, but under the lower back. So you're wrapping the lower back around the roller and opening up into the diaphragm. Here we're going to extend the arms next to the ears. And if you can, lengthen the legs out. Let the feet flop out and try and relax in this position. So focus on your breathing. If this is not comfortable for you, then I want you to bend the knees, bring the feet flat, release the roller, and just lengthen yourself out. You can position the reflex ball onto the spine just to help you open up into the diaphragm a little bit more. And all you're going to do here is focus on your breathing to help you ease into the release and open it up into the diaphragm. When we sit for long periods of time, we shorten this area, the distance between the hips and the rib cage. That affects our posture and affects our breathing as well. So just focus on relaxing and a nice inhalation through the nose for 4 counts. Hold the breath for 2 counts and then breathe out for 4. Hold it for 2 and breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it again, then breathe in for 2 and 3 and 4. Hold the breath and breathe out. Bring one foot flat, bring the other foot flat. Let's just tuck and arch. If you have lost the roller, bring it back and just focus on arching and tucking a few times. Bring the soles of the feet together and bounce the knees open. This one again, you can release the roller if you're more comfortable lying flat on the mat. Just open up into the hips. Open up and bounce. And bring the knees together. Hug the knees into the chest. And again, if you can, just keep the roller where it is and just bounce the knees towards the chin. Hug one knee, release one foot. Release that foot, lift the lower back, release the roller, rock yourself into a seated position, and let's just finish with the roller back underneath the neck, head on the roller, head and neck, and just rocking the head from side to side, just releasing any tension in the neck, and back to the center. Bring the arms next to the ears, lift the tailbone, and just rock forward and back. So you're working onto the deltoids at the top of the arm and just massaging that area. Lengthening the neck. So keep the neck on the roller and just let the head relax. Relax the upper body and relax the lower body. Release the roller. Have a nice big stretch and yawn. Yawning releases any tension in the jaw. Lengthen yourself out. Hug your knees into your chest and a nice big rocking motion forward and back. Come up into a seated position. Just roll the shoulders up and back. Cross one hand over onto the opposite knee, rotate and twist, cross over to the other side, and bring one hand, keep that hand on the knee, bring the other hand onto the knee, stay in that position, and just round the spine, and breathe in, open up, and breathe out, round the spine, and breathe in. Open up one more time, breathe out, and breathe in, open up, good. Just circle and relax the shoulders, one at a time, and one last deep breath in, through the nose, and breathe out. Well done, and thank you for joining me.